I'd like to welcome everybody to the first kickoff podcast for NLX. We are here at Venture X in Parsippany, New Jersey on 8 Campus Drive. Mahender Gourier is the owner of the NLX here and the owner of Venture X, as a matter of fact. We are a networking group, NLX, which stands for Network Lead Exchange. We are kicking off our Extra Mile podcast series, this being the first one of the series, and we have an NLX member with us today, Kathy Sheldon from The Growth Coach. Kathy, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's so great to be here, Bruce.
Well, thank you very much for taking the opportunity here to tell us more about your business. Mm-hmm. The whole object of this podcast is to help businesses in many different ways, okay? Because everybody that joins Network Lead Exchange is a business owner, an entrepreneur, and they offer their services, to the members, okay, of the organization, as well as the extended referrals that they get, okay? So we're one big team of individuals that are looking to help businesses. And as a lead off, I think this first podcast is very important because we're coming off of the pandemic. The pandemic has hurt many businesses. It's also helped some businesses, fortunately, but many have been in a bad situation. Absolutely. So I've heard from businesses across the United States, Kathy, different stories. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask you, okay, what it is that business owners should do if they're struggling right now. Mm-hmm. What is the first step that they should do to try to help themselves get more business and overcome what's happened here?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's really a great question. Just like you said, there's been so many businesses have been struggling since COVID. Many of them have shut down. It's really for a business owner taking a step back and looking at the opportunities that are being presented to them and really taking a step to pivot in a different direction if they need to. I can give you an example from my own life and my own business. I mean, I do own the business coaching, but I also own another business as well. And during COVID, when we had our shutdowns and lockdowns with the schools, and we had so many kids doing virtual learning, one of the things I quickly had to do was learn to pivot. I offer services, obviously, to kids who are struggling with mental health and behavioral challenges. But one of the things I jumped on quite quickly was seeing an opportunity to provide academic mentoring or help for kids who are learning virtually. So it was something I'd actually always thought about doing in the back of my mind, but all of a sudden here was an opportunity and the timing was right, even though unfortunately we were in a place where everything was shutting down when we were being isolated. It gave me the opportunity to take a look at things and jump in and do something new. And now 2.5 years later, we are still offering our academic mentoring services to kids. And it's really beneficial service for kids who need the extra help. So again, that's just an example of what a business owner can do. But it's really having that mindset that you need to be looking for opportunities. You need to be willing to take a new risk and try something new. And many business owners shy away from doing that. They kind of get stuck in what they do on a day-to-day basis because that's what's comfortable for them.
And here's in my past experience, how do you tell an individual that they need to change their mindset? What do you do when you meet with them?
Yeah, it's oftentimes just meeting with them several times and listening. It's not so much even telling them what to do. It's really listening where their biggest challenge is. And the more you listen, the more you start to understand what is holding them back. And oftentimes self-doubt and fear is what is holding them back. That may mean self-doubt in handing over particular strategies or tasks or delegating to somebody. That may mean taking, like I said, that leap of faith to expand or try a new product or a new service line or a new strategy to grow. But it's not so much just telling them in one sitting. It's really a process and a journey for them that can take several years. It's not something, to do a comparison to running. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. So it really is taking a time, because one of the things with business owners is you have to understand whether you are somebody who wants to go into business and never done before, but has an idea about a particular product or service and just haven't taken that leap, or a business owner who has been in business for several years but just hasn't taken that next step to really expand and grow, even though they could. A lot of it does have to do with the mindset and having an understanding that you may end up trying something and you may fail. Or you may try to go in a different direction and that doesn't work, or it takes a completely different direction. And that's really what it means to be in the mindset of an entrepreneur or a business owner, is understanding that there are going to be failures. You're going to have sleepless nights and just accepting that. But the most important part too is when you do make a mistake or there's a failure, taking a look at that and understanding where the mistakes were made and how can you make a difference next time, or how can you make improvement the next time.
So if someone were to bring you on board, okay, because they're struggling, how soon would it be before they saw some type of relief? Whether it be mental or whether it be monetary, okay, because they're bringing you on board simply because they're struggling,
Yeah.
okay?
That's really up to the individual. You know, I could be there with somebody, again, I hate to keep coming back to the mindset, and they're ready to make those changes and implement new strategies, where somebody else could still have a block and it's going to take a little bit longer. And unfortunately for some people, they are just comfortable enough where they're at and that suits them fine. So sometimes it's really having even that hard conversation with them, like, is this okay? Are you in a place where you're satisfied with where your business is? And that's okay too. Not everybody needs to expand and grow if they're in a place where they're comfortable and they're happy. I mean, it's really also taking a look at their life beyond the business, and are they happy with their entire lifestyle? Is there that balance in their life?
So someone who's completely stressed out and their lifestyle is they can't go on vacation, they can't see their kids because they're spending so much time at work, that would probably be an ideal candidate for you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, they have to have that recognition and insight that this is not the way to continue on, because there are so many business owners who are working 80 hours a week. Maybe that's a stretch, but they're certainly working more than 40 hours a week. And, you know, when people go into business, the idea is, oh, I'm going to own a business. I'm going to make lots of money. I'm going to have this particular lifestyle that's going to afford me and my families to go on vacations and buy nice cars. I'm going to buy a nice house. And then they're stuck in their business for 60 hours a week, and they don't have that lifestyle that they really, really want. So it is really kind of delving in then and seeing where that challenge is and why they are not managing their time well. And again, that could be so many things depending on their individual. It could be a time management problem. It could be because they're not delegating enough to somebody else or outsourcing certain tasks and things that they really don't have to be doing, those minute tasks that somebody else could be taking care of. So it's also taking, like, again, a step back and taking a look at the entire business and being a business owner and working in your business instead of owning your business.
Well, there's people, I look at it from a different way, a different perspective. There's people who run their business and there's people whose business runs them.
Absolutely. That's a good way to put it. Absolutely. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Those are the individuals that don't have time for anything. When their business runs them, they can't even show up for a networking meeting. They can't even go, their friends ask them if they want to get away for an afternoon to play golf. They can't do that. They can't go see their kids' Little League baseball game, something like that.
Yeah, and that's not what intentionally these people got into business to do. So it really is taking a look at a number of factors in their business. Also you want to take a look at, their revenue stream, their cash flow and such. Is that what preventing them from moving forward? If that's the case, how are they going to increase that? Because if you are able to increase your cash flow and revenue, does that mean you can have more money and cash to outsource for other people to be doing things for you? Are you able to bring in employees? Are you able to bring in contractors? Because all of that will help you expand your business, increase your cash flow, and eventually give you the time you need to get to those little league games, to go on vacation and spend time with your family and have that lifestyle that you intentionally or you originally wanted when you jumped into the business yourself.
And when you get involved in coaching a person, an entrepreneur in business, do you get that granular? Do you actually go into the profitability of each one of his products and help them with that?
It's a really good place to start or at some point really take a look at. Yeah, you definitely want to take a look at it. If they're comfortable enough sharing that information with you, that can be a very touchy subject for some business owners. They really don't want to admit they may be struggling with their cash flow problems. And that could be something that's absolutely keeping them up at night. That's hard because if you're not bringing in the revenue and you're having cash flow problems, then you're at a risk of losing your business. So, I mean, that's a really important area.
True, but I would think that, if I were to bring you in, I would want full disclosure. I mean, because, look, I hired you to simply come in and correct what I can't correct or what I don't see because, I can't see the forest through the trees because I'm too close to everything and I think I'm doing things right. And lo and behold, you come in and you show me that I'm not doing everything right.
Well, hopefully that's why you hired me in the first place. But, there's reality. There's our personal reality that we like to show everybody. So when you're at your neighborhood picnic and your neighbor comes over to you and says, how's business going? You automatically it's going really well. I'm really enjoying it. I love it. And then there's the other reality of it that you are struggling and you really don't want to show people that reality of it. I believe they call that market reality. So that's what you market yourself in a certain way so other people can see you and your successes, or what it perceives to be successes. But behind the door, it's a really different thing. So, and that even happens, I see that happen over and over again when I am first talking to business owners about their businesses and where things are at. They're always, talking about how well things are going. It does take a while to build that relationship where they trust you enough to really start to talk about some of the challenges that they have. And that doesn't, again, depending where the person is at and their own personality, it really can take, it can take several months before somebody is honest enough with themselves and then honest enough with myself or another business coach.
Well, Kathy, I can't thank you enough. I think the insight that you brought here today will help many struggling business owners and even business owners who aren't struggling that want to grow and don't have the wherewithal or the knowledge to do so should really take a look at what you have to offer. So why don't you tell people, the listeners here for this first podcast, how they can get in touch with you and contact you to answer any of their questions?
Sure. They can reach me through email at ksheldon@thegrowthcoach.com. Or my website is www.thegrowthcoach.com, North Jersey. So those are two ways to get a hold of me.
Terrific. Okay. Well, I want to thank you again. I want to thank Venture X. I want to thank Mahender. And I want to thank NLX Network Lead Exchange. Okay. And thank you for your insight today, Kathy. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
All right. Thank you. Have a nice day.